Hello, my name is Jitterz, and today I will be going through an in-depth explanation of the mechanics for all of Yoru's abilities. Yoru's first ability is Gatecrash and is binded to E by default. Gatecrash is Yoru's teleport ability. The ability is free, and Yoru starts each round with one charge and can replenish the ability during a round by getting 2 kills after the ability has already been used. When the key is pressed, Yoru equips a rift tether that can be placed on the ground. When equipped, you can press the left click button to send the tether out, moving forward in the direction that Yoru was initially facing when he cast the ability. The tether will continue to move in the same direction until it hits a wall, but can slide against the wall if it hits it at an angle. The tether moves at the same speed as an agent while running with their knife out. If right click is pressed while the tether is equipped, Yoru will instead place the tether on the ground in front of him, and it will not move from that location. The tether is invisible to enemies most of the time, only being visible to them if they are within 5 meters of it. As soon as they come within range of the tether, it will slowly fade in, and if they go out of the range, it will fade out. When the timer on the tether expires, it can be seen disappearing from any range. The tether has a sound effect that plays within a 10 to 15 meter range, so enemies can hear the tether letting them know that it is nearby even if they can't yet see it. Here's an example to show about how far the tether can be heard from. When Yoru teleports, there's another sound cue, both at the position he starts as well as the location he ends up at. When Yoru teleports, you can hear him from about 10 meters away. He can even be heard if you don't have line of sight. The sound at Yoru's ending location is louder and can be heard from much further away. This sound cue can be heard from about 40 meters away. Here is a visual to show about how far you can hear Yoru's teleport from. When the tether is placed on the ground, a timer will start and the tether will disappear after about 20 seconds if it is not used. This timer is indicated by the bar located right above the ability on the UI.
Portal closed.
At any time when the E button is pressed again, Yoru will start a 1.7 second channel and then immediately teleport to the location of his tether. During this time, Yoru is vulnerable to taking damage and cannot shoot or move, so make sure you teleport from a safe location. Yoru will teleport facing the same direction he is currently facing, so make sure you take this into account before teleporting. Just like Omen, you can also change the direction you are facing while the ability is channeling. I'll leave an annotation on screen for my video where I explain the mechanics for all of Omen's abilities. The tether can be destroyed by enemies and is able to be damaged by either abilities or by enemies shooting it. The tether has 100 HP, which means it can be destroyed by 3 shots from the Vandal, 4 shots from the Ghost, and Spectre. It is also able to be destroyed by 1 shot from the Marshal. Yoru's second abilities is Flash Blindside, binded to the Q key by default. Blindside costs 200 credits per charge and Yoru can carry 2 charges per round. When you press Q, Yoru will equip his flash and will throw it whenever left click is pressed. There's a short delay of 1.1 seconds before Yoru can shoot after the ability is used. The flash is thrown in an arc rather than a straight line, so if you are throwing the flash far away, you need to take this into account when aiming it. The arc and distance is comparable to a Sova recon arrow with 1/3 charge. The flash will continue moving until it either hits a solid surface or reaches its maximum range. If the flash reaches its maximum range without hitting a wall, it will disappear. This range is very large at over 40 meters, however, and you reasonably won't encounter this in a real game, but this does stop players from being able to potentially use across the map lineups. When the flash hits a solid surface, it will bounce off of it and travel a set distance of about 5 meters before it detonates, flashing anyone looking in its direction. The flash can bounce off of many surfaces in the game, including walls, the ground, and objects located around the map. So try to be creative in how you use it. The flash can bounce multiple times, assuming the surfaces hit are close enough to each other, but the total distance traveled by the flash is not extended, so it will still only travel a total of 5 meters, no matter how many surfaces it bounces off of. Players affected by the ability will be flashed for a total of 2.2 seconds. If a player is not looking at the flash, then the flash only lasts about 1.25 seconds. There's actually a middle length flash that can occur if the flash is just outside of the player's screen. This flash lasts about 1.5 seconds. Blindside is invisible to enemies until it hits a wall. At that point, it can be seen for 0.8 seconds before it detonates and flashes the area. Blindside also has a sound effect that can be heard from about 25 meters away. This sound effect can be heard even while the flash is invisible and can be heard through walls. Because of this, it is actually a lot easier to react to the sound when trying to look away from Yoru's flash rather than the visual cue. Fakeout is Yoru's third ability and is mapped to the C key by default. Fakeout costs 100 credits per charge and Yoru can carry up to 2 charges per round. When the C key is pressed, Yoru equips an echo and has 2 options for how to use it. Pressing left click sends the ability out immediately, moving forward in the direction that Yoru is facing, mimicking footsteps. If right click is pressed, Yoru will place the ability on the ground to be activated later. You can even place the footsteps on the ground before the round starts. The footsteps move at about the same speed as an agent running while holding a knife. They are a little bit slower, but the difference is very small, so it isn't really that noticeable. If placed on the ground, the footsteps will stay there until the end of the round. The footsteps move for a total of 10.4 seconds after being activated. The footsteps will keep moving after they hit a wall, and just like the tether, will slide off of the wall if they hit it at an angle. The footsteps are visible to enemies starting at about 30 meters away. This is the same range that the footsteps can be heard from. After hitting a wall, the footsteps no longer make any noise. The footsteps cannot be shot, but they can be destroyed using certain abilities like Brimstone's Molly.
30 seconds left.
Molly!
Yoru's ultimate is Dimensional Rift and requires 7 ultimate points before it can be used. When the X key is pressed, Yoru will equip a mask and left click is used to activate the ability. This will turn Yoru invisible and increase his movement speed.
I'm back.
Yoru's movement speed in his ultimate is slightly faster than an agent holding their knife. While in his ultimate, Yoru cannot shoot or use any abilities, but he's also invulnerable to taking damage.
I'll handle this.
While in his ultimate, Yoru can still be affected by flashes though. Yoru is only affected by flashes that are within his vision range. So if a flash goes off more than 20 meters away, he won't be affected.
I'm back.
Yoru's ultimate lasts a total of 8.8 seconds.
I'm back.
If you want to cancel the ultimate early, you can press the ultimate key again to end it at any time.
I'm back.
When coming out of his ultimate, there's about a 1.5 second delay before you can shoot again.
I'm back.
While in his ultimate, Yoru's vision is reduced and he
I'll
can only
handle
see
this.
enemies that are about 20 meters away from him.
I'm back.
If enemies are within 5 meters of Yoru's ultimate, there's an effect that shows up on their screen to let them know that you are nearby. Enemies can also see Yoru if they are within 3 meters of him while he is in his ultimate. This means that there's a decent area between 5 and 15 meters away from Yoru where he can see enemies in his ult, but they can't see him. While in his ultimate, Yoru is still able to pick up the spike, but he's unable to plant it.
I'm back.
When Yoru activates his ultimate, there's a sound cue that lets players know that you're using it.
Who's next?
This sound cue can be heard from anywhere on the map. When Yoru's ultimate ends, there's another sound cue, but this one has a maximum range. The range of this sound cue is very large, however, at well over 50 meters. So if you do not hear Yoru come out of his ultimate, it means that he is on the other side of the map. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new about Yoru's abilities, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one.